Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So I figured I was talking about something obscured, something low budget. I mean, okay, it's not super obscured, it is fairly well known enough, I guess. But it's, I guess, low budget compared to the movies nowadays. It's a blast from the past, and I guess close enough, I guess. So anyway, I haven't really reviewed a Western film in a while. I have reviewed a film noir type of movie in a while. So I guess I'll just talk about the film titled The Capture, which is like a combination of the movie with a detective kind of thing with some drama and romance thrown in the mix. So yeah, it's a drawn mix, I guess. Genres, I should say. Anyway, like always, I do have to talk about the plot. So let's just get into it, shall we? So here we go, I reckon. Anyway, The Capture is this 1950s American Western film noir kind of a thing. So we get to see the story being told through flashback deals with his ex oil worker driven by guilt at causing the death of an individual innocent man to find out gotta find out the truth, of course, and whatnot. About yeah, it involves some kind of robbery kind of a thing. So yeah. So we're going to see that there was this manager of this oil company. The payroll has been stolen in a holdup. So yeah, there's some gun shooting kind of a thing like you might see from typical western type movies. Yeah, that's still in there, folks. Anyway, his wife, his fiance argues. Okay, I won't say argue really. She pretty much trying to do a thing with him to pursue the support this individual and the subject. I guess she's trying to show to support him in some ways, I guess, and hope that he will be given some kind of thing here. But yeah, this gets kind of crazy in a lot of ways. And yes, the whole thing with the border with Mexico, the whole Mexico thing does come into play as well. So yeah, like I was saying, it does get pretty crazy with the story, as it should, I guess. So, but yeah, that's the opportunity. The thing is that you have some drama, of course, some kind of conflict in the story, and this definitely has that. Anyway, yeah, there was this badly injured fugitive that explains to this priest how he came to be in his, I guess, state, I guess you would say. So, anyway, running from the law and with his badly injured arm, and pretty much our main character here just takes refuge to this priest's home and tells him how and why he ended up in this certain condition in this situation, and things get pretty crazy as it and whatnot. The whole thing with the company's payroll's been stolen and all that jazz, of course. Anyway, so let's just say things get rather complicated as you might expect, and that's exactly what happens here. Things get rather complicated. Let's put it that way. So anyway, let's just say that this wasn't too shabby. I thought this was a pretty good film, of course. And yeah, it has a pretty good story to it. I thought the story was really well done. Obviously, the story wasn't too bad, of course. And then there was the whole thing with the as a result of the incident, the fiance broke off their yeah, they were about to get married and whatnot. That comes in to play and whatnot. So it gets pretty crazy, of course. And yeah, things aren't really going too well for our main character. I thought this was a pretty good film. It was I liked what we're trying to do here in the grand scheme of things. I mean, okay, sure, this may not be the most action packed movie out there because it really isn't at all. But say still, that's fine. I don't mind really. Yeah, like I said, it really goes into the whole drama. It really goes in that. But in some ways, I'm kind of using this as an excuse to talk about something to do with Western, of course, because like we're saying, I haven't talked about Western movies in a while. I haven't talked about film noir type movies in a good while. So there was that. And then, like we're saying, there's a whole bit where he's been hunted by the police in Mexico, where the story takes place. And he tells this kind of thing, how this entire thing happened and whatnot. So yeah, things get wild. I just should, of course. I guess in some ways he has to prove what's going on, whatnot. He has to show what really happened. He has to talk about that, of course. And things get crazy. He's pretty damn crazy, I suppose. But anyway, ultimately, yes, I would definitely say that this is crazy Western film. I would recommend. Obviously, I would recommend this Western film. So, of course, our main character pretty much escapes to this remote Mexican village to, I guess, live his life in some ways, but finds himself with this whole thing with this incident being investigated upon, and that sends him at odds with himself after falling in love with the widow and whatnot. So yeah, things get crazy. Like I said, I'll just leave it at that. So yes, it's pretty plot heavy in a lot of ways. So there was that. As far as acting is concerned, the acting isn't too shabby in what they're trying to do because I can obviously see that. Yes, despite the fact that it's a low budget feature, they were actually trying to give effort in the grand scheme of things, which goes to show you that you don't necessarily need to have a big budget film in order to have some decent acting. You can still have it hit there. The action actresses definitely did the part, I reckon. You can tell that they're really trying to give the effort to express the characters in these situations. And that's fine in that sense because trying to make it seem believable, of course. And yes, the whole romance thing and that kind of thing. And yes, romantic stuff isn't really my cup of tea, really. If I'm be honest with you, I really don't care for romantic stuff. Maybe just that's more of a me thing, really. Of course, more of a me thing. But point being is that the actors and actresses are really attempting to give this whole romance aspect of the story the best they could. Again, give the material that was done here, of course, that was written on the script. So they were trying their best to make the love part of the story seem really believable and whatnot. So there was that. Quite obviously. I mean, yeah, this was quite a bit of stuff I'm glancing over, but I don't want to spoil too much really at the end of the day. But it's definitely a pretty good film. I mean, it may not be the most action-packed film in the entire world, but still, though, I like what they're trying to go for, of course. And yes, obviously, they were trying to aim for like a western kind of a thing, of course. I like that. And I did think that's a good thing here that they were trying to make an effort to make things be interesting in their own way, of course. It's put a plot heavy movie. That's ultimately what I'm trying to get. It's a plot heavy movie here. So if that's a bad thing in your case, it's not. Then stay away from this movie because don't expect it to be Transformers like any Michael Bay movie and whatnot, like having stuff explosions like every 10 minutes or so, whatever, or less than that. I know there's a lot of people out there might be turned off by this because, well, it's an old movie for one. And yes, I've heard people complain about the fact that old movies are kind of weird with the dialogue and whatnot. How old movies people talk strange. Yeah, I've heard complaints like that before, which I find kind of odd, but whatever. And uh, I guess it's a time, it's a period. I guess it's different times. The dialects are going to be different, of course. That's the thing. People don't take that into context whatsoever. The dialect is going to be different, even if these characters, I mean, these actors live in America. Well, this was actually shot on location, by the way, Mexico. But still, you can still have American actors in this movie, of course. I mean, there's some Mexican actors, of course, but again, regardless, a dialect back then is going to be different than it is now. You'd be surprised how many people don't consider that. Anyway, I'm okay sidetracking here. It's a good movie, regardless. Anyway, I'll give this film a Novavar rating of a 7.010. It's a 7.010 for me. As always, thanks for watching and take care. See you.